Hi everyone, I'm Amy Lee Miller, and today I want to share some of the things that I love about kids, why they're sometimes smarter than adults, and why we should all be a little bit more childlike. Okay, so what are some wonderful things about kids? Let's see. They are cute, sweet, fun, smaller than me, and brave, with no inhibitions to express themselves. Unfortunately, these things come later when people in our lives and society start to tell us about things that are wrong with us. And then we can start to become more closed off and self-conscious, and that's pretty sad. Okay, so speaking of things that are wrong with us, listen to this story. I think it's hilarious. Okay, so years ago, a girlfriend of mine was visiting and she was staying with me. And she had me try on a jacket of hers. I think she wanted to give it to me. So I tried it on and it was too big for me. And she told me my arms were short and started laughing. And then during the same visit, she told me my mouth was crooked. And not even in those words, she actually went like this and started laughing. Like, what is happening right now? Are you making fun of my face while staying in my home? Maybe she was just being childlike. Touche. Anyhow, I never knew those things about myself until she pointed them out. Okay, so back to kids, sort of. If you guys have ever watched the Actors Studio, maybe you'll remember one of the questions James Lipton would ask his guest is, what is your favorite sound? So my least favorite sound is the sound of skateboards because I'm always afraid that they're going to run into my ankles. And my favorite sound is the sound of little girls' voices. I love to see them walking down the street with their parents dressed in the most colorful clothes that don't match, wearing ruffles or maybe a tiara, and just talking, sharing something very important they have to say with their parents. I love this because they're just expressing themselves in their truest and uninhibited form, all happy and playful. Okay, so funny story about a little boy that I used to know. Years ago, I was dating a guy who had the most adorable son who I got along with really well. The son, not the guy. And one day he was sitting in my lap, the son, not the guy, and he said to me, "You have big fat legs." So I flexed my muscle and smacked it and said, "Look, nothing moved. It's all muscle." And he pointed and said, "That part did." That's another thing I love about kids, their honesty. They don't understand how to sugarcoat things. And wouldn't we all communicate so much better if we didn't sugarcoat things either? There would be less enabling, which is never a good thing. If you've watched some of my other videos, you may have heard me mention before Eric Ho, who also goes by Master Shri Akashna. One of the things he says is if you want to do something the way nature intended, watch a baby. And he talks about breathing and how when a baby breathes, their bellies expand because they're using their full lung capacity. And as adults, we stop doing this because we want to hold our stomachs in. Breath is life, and we're shortening ours by not breathing properly. Being honest and genuine is also life. And while as adults, we don't need to go around pointing out that our smiles aren't straight, instead we appreciate each other's differences as part of what makes the world interesting. However, we still need to be honest and enjoy expressing our true selves. If we're not being honest with ourselves and with each other, we're just not being ourselves. And then how can we ever really feel connected? So let's take a lesson from kids and be a little bit more childlike, as nature intended. I'm Amy Lee Miller, reminding you, yes, you can.